Evidence. Tonight, see what truly exists inside the world of the paranormal. Inside. Join the discussion and review some of the best paranormal evidence captures from a wide variety of experienced and up-and-coming investigators. See and hear what they capture, where they captured it, and how they captured it. Right now on Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence. The paranormal has arrived.
Yes.
Oh.
In the form of us. Which explains the decline in the field.
Decline in the maturity of the field, anyway.
Listen, I know I've been entertaining an extra level of celebrity this week above everybody else because of my my breakthrough discovery video that was recently launched with regard to the tinfoil helmet and glasses.
That was great.
Tony has clowned me in ways that I will never be able to rival, and it's so freaking funny. It was so funny. Oh, I did it to myself.
He's down a notch. He's trying to get you to kick it back up again.
I guess so. That was funny.
I came across that Facebook post, and as soon as I read it, I'm like, "Oh my god, that's the video with Ron in the tinfoil hat." So I said, "Sheree, we were going to take a break from cleaning and packing," and she goes, "Well, I'm going to take a little break." She goes, "What are you going to do?" I'm like, "I got something I got to put together."
Like, I thought you were cleaning or you're packing.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Hilarious. Yes. Hey guys, I noticed that all the audience is just YouTube. I don't see any Facebook.
No, neither do I.
Yeah, Todd and Carmelo are there. Yeah, that was it's so funny. There was a backstory to it, to some drunk medium that was ribbing Tony on some show, making no sense about pagers and satellite dishes, and so I came on the show to surprise him with that whole thing going on, and now I'm paying for it.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
I thought it was just absolutely hilarious.
It's just apple berry flavored juice. That's all it is.
Marine is on.
Marine's on. Mm-hmm. Look at that. Jenny Colucci's on.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Wilson.
Everett.
And we got Everett here.
Yeah, little witchy. There she is.
Roger was here 44 hours ago.
Raul.
Raul's here.
Shared to American Ghost Stories.
Melissa Blackman.
Thank you.
I think I said it already, but I said it again. Zach Bennett's here. Hey, Bennett.
Ooh,
Hi.
Trivia Clinic is around the corner. Can't wait.
Yes. 2 weeks away, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep.
Chase
Roger. Did we mention Roger? Roger's there.
Yeah.
Is Roger here? I didn't see him yet. And Melissa Blackwood, there's Roger. I had to scroll back. Geo.
Hey, Roger.
Zach Bennett.
Roger jumped on and posted only 44 more hours to go. I cannot wait. I want to be haunted, not sedated. That's what he put.
Anthony's
on.
Everett, Anthony Seminelli over there. Melissa Blackman.
Zach Bennett.
Thank you for joining us, guys.
Yes.
Inspectors Paranormal Investigations. Seekers
Paranormal.
Club. Very cool.
Thank you guys for joining.
Thank you.
No. Yay, the crew.
The crew. Got the whole crew
Yeah.
here. So we have got something for you tonight. So you've heard us talk about the Montgomery House in the past.
Yeah.
'Tis the season to be haunted.
That's right.
So we have reached that point in North Carolina weather where we are open, and I don't know which Facebook that user's on.
Open for business.
It is open for business. We've had tons of interest. Nobody's locked in dates yet, but we've got tons of interest. So we've opened it up to 2 Saturdays a month, except for July, because we will be gone a good significant amount of July. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the history of the Montgomery House, in case anybody, and I know some of the people that are watching are planning on coming down. The history of the Montgomery House, how we found it, our first investigation, and then we're going to dive into some pictures from investigations that PPIT did, stuff that we've captured there, and then stuff the six of us as a team when we were in there for the first time together as the team with the six of us, captures that we caught while we were there, and some Staticom that was caught while we were there.
So it'll be a good show.
Yeah, it'll be a good show. We got a ton of crap for y'all.
Wait,
Yeah.
because we're getting through it really fast.
Yes.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just speed through.
Yeah, the place is awesome. It's for those who are kicking around the idea of making the trip. Anytime you take a trip, especially for a haunted, allegedly haunted, whatever, it's always, the question of whether or not it might be worth it. This one is worth it. Montgomery House was amazing. It was really, really good.
No doubt about it. That was probably the very first place that all six of us got to investigate together. And
Yeah.
wow. We
So
did
that
not
makes us a little biased towards it, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Just a little.
yeah, a little bit. But the fact that that was the first place the six of us got to investigate together was fantastic just in itself, let alone the activity that this place showed us. I mean, everything from what appeared to be full body apparitions that I saw.
Oh, shatter figure that you saw, the little girl.
Well, yeah, that was more full bodied than
Yeah.
shadow.
Mhm.
Yep.
But the EVPs, the Staticom responses. I mean, it was an unforgettable place. No doubt about it.
It is
Hey,
fantastic.
Chad. Yeah, Chad, you'd like that place too. Chad has
Yeah.
an appreciation, like many of us, for the places that are historical in value and appear to be, and have a character to the construction of the house and the look of it. You'd love that place.
Yeah.
And Tony's right. It really did. I mean, every category we could check off, or did we get something in that area? Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm readjusting my chair.
We're trying to get comfortable over here. It's so tight. All right.
All right.
Here we go.
So when Audra and I first moved to North Carolina, we couldn't. It's a struggle. People are very private here.
Protective.
Huh?
Protective of their.
Bless your heart. Bless your
Bless their
heart.
heart.
I was thinking the same thing. Bless you.
Bless their heart. It is hard to get into haunted locations down here unless they're publicized as a haunted location, like the Trivet Clinic, and then there's the Moreau House up in Raleigh that you can do tours in. But getting into some of these old abandoned locations and getting permission, it was hard, and we struggled to find places to investigate here. There's tons of cemeteries, but you got to be careful which ones you go into, because they're either graveyards connected to old churches that are active, or some of them are on private property. And if you go into Charlotte, some of them are right next to the highway
Yeah.
Yes.
and are no longer practicing cemeteries, but that's where the family was buried. So they left the headstones. There is actually a road called Wilson Road in the east side of Charlotte, where you go to turn onto Wilson Road, and the name of the road is Wilson because the Wilson plantation used to be right there, and there's 4 of them buried right off the sidewalk.
Like you can stick your hand out the car and touch them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Touch
You
those
have some strange names for roads, though. What was that one? Stinky Skunk Pot or say just like something like that.
Yeah.
Then we have an Irish Potato Road out here, and
And then there's Flo's Store and there's Flo's Stowe.
STOWE.
And if you're in the South, they both sound exactly the same. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go down Flo's Stowe.
Yeah. So if you get somebody from North Carolina telling you to turn on Flo Stowe Road, and you got to go, okay, Stowe or Store?
Store.
Because they're 2 miles apart and they go opposite directions.
It is crazy.
It is
crazy.
It is an interesting area. It's a gorgeous area. We love the weather down here. But so we started going around.
Hey.
Everybody knows. Hey, Reeve.
Breathe.
Everybody knows that Audra and I are sensitive, so we like to go antiquing because sometimes you get into the old antique places because most of the antique shops down here are very old 1700 to early 1900 buildings. And then they're full of dead people stuff, which makes it even better. So we drove out to, this was very early 2021. We drove out to a little town called Mount Gilead, which is at the base of the Uwharries Mountains. And everybody knows the Uwharries has got the cryptid, the Sasquatch sightings, one of the original spots. They still see it to today. I haven't seen one yet. And we're going to have proof of it if I do, because I'm a good shot. But I'm finally going to prove it. And we're driving down the road, and out in the middle of nowhere, we see this sign that says circa 1830 Montgomery House. And as we're approaching closer, this is what we see.
Yeah.
That's it.
That'd be
So
it, yo.
Yeah, that'd be it. We literally drove by, and I looked up into this window, and Audra's head was turned towards it, and I hit the brakes and turned back around, and there's a little driveway over in this area over here, and, you know, being nosy, surprised we didn't get shot, but, well, we didn't get shot because nobody
lives there.
So I got fascinated with this place, and Audra was intrigued by it. I wanted to investigate it. There was just something drawing us into it. So it took me several weeks to figure out who owned the property. Come to find out, it sits in Montgomery County, and the Montgomery County Historical Society owns the property. They had 3 or 4 benefactors that donated quite a bit of money. So they had a big fund, the Montgomery County Historical Society. Well, during COVID, ironically enough, all of the benefactors passed away. One of them was due to COVID or COVID-related symptoms. The other ones were natural because they were very elderly, mature in their age. But unfortunately, when they passed away, everybody that inherited their money went, those funds are ours, and completely took it away from the Historical Society. So we met these 2 gentlemen, Captain Dave and John Garrett, and we started talking to them, and we set up, Carrie was with Southern Entities at the time, and at the time we set up a meeting to go out and meet with them and tell them what we do. So we tell them what we did as, you know, paranormal investigators, and said, hey, if you would allow us to investigate and prove that it's haunted, then we could get other investigators to come down, and every single dime that we make off of those investigations, we will give back to the Historical Society. These guys said, yes, sir. They met us at the house. They gave us a tour. And before we walked out the door, they handed me a key and told me what the alarm code was.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Of course, with them telling us, but there's nothing in this house.
Here.
Nothing happened. There's no record. There's no tragedy.
There wasn't any axe murders or anything.
No tragedy in this house.
So I have the article on the wall over there. We were in the newspaper. We did the first investigation and provided them with the evidence that we captured. Now, the history of the Montgomery House. I'll try and get through this as quick as I can. Dr. John Montgomery fought in the Revolutionary War. When he got back from the Revolutionary War, and there's Everett's been there.
Yep.
When he got back, he went to school to be a doctor. And when he became a doctor, he moved to Montgomery County, where he met Mary Scarborough. Mary Scarborough's father owned the 2nd largest gold mine in the state. And when the 2 of them got engaged to be married, her father granted them they estimate 5,000 to 8,000. The records aren't that accurate, so they're not sure, but a 5,000 to 8,000 acre plantation, cotton plantation. They built this home in 1830 to live in, the 2 of them. Now, the distinctive feature about this is that this house still sits on the same property. It was set to be destroyed in the early 90s by the fire department because it was abandoned and started to fall apart. So they pulled out the windows. They were going to burn it down and use it as test fire. And that's when the Historical Society came in and took it over. They restored it as much as they possibly could to the picture that you see today. So Dr. Montgomery was the only doctor in Montgomery County. Montgomery County was about the size of 6 of the current counties here in North Carolina. It was inducted into to being a county in the state in 1779. So 3 years after the Declaration of Independence was signed. And he was the only doctor in the area. So people would literally have to travel miles and days to get to his house. And eventually the courthouse for Montgomery County burnt down. So they actually used it as a courthouse somewhere between 2 to 8 years. The significance about this is not only did Mary Scarborough grow up on this land, who later became Mrs. Montgomery, she never left a 5-mile radius her entire life, including her burial, which is half a mile down the road from the Montgomery House. So that is the gist of it. I can give you more details if you're interested in the investigation, because there's a lot more in there. 2 of their sons died in the Civil War. There was 1 son left. But in the end, when Mrs. Montgomery died, Mr. Montgomery would go back and forth between Concord, which at the time by wagon was about a 3-day ride, and his house in downtown Concord to be closest to his 1 surviving son. And he would go back and forth. He called it his rural retreat. But at that time, when he went to Concord, he handed it to the servants and said, "The property is yours. I'll come back and visit, spend a couple weeks, maybe a month with you, but most of all, the property is yours." So he treated the servants like family. So we did our investigation the first time, and Audra's standing down in the back towards the kitchen, in the main hallway, and she goes, "Oh my God, there's a servant boy standing right in front of me. He's smiling up at me. He's cute." All of a sudden, Chris gets this intuition that I think his name's Joseph's. Fingers in my ear, no more history, Chris. So Audra goes, "There's a little boy standing in front of me." And I went, "I think his name is Joseph." So we opened to the SB7, which I don't use very often. And I'll go ahead and play that for you now. And Joseph was standing right there. And I asked this question. "Why is he here?"
Nice.
So Joseph replied. Okay. So we had 5 or 6 EVPs and then that. And the most intriguing part about it is we went to the Historical Society. We presented them with all the evidence that we had captured, and they were just ecstatic. "You guys have free reign of the house." So I do maintenance on the house. I repaired the stairs. I go out and I spray it. We sweep it. What? Oh, I thought you were hitting me. So
like 20 minutes too soon for that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nah,
We're only 20 minutes in.
for that.
So what's funny is we presented that piece of evidence to the Montgomery County Historical Society, and I told them, I said, "Audra saw him. I felt him. I got the name Joseph. I'm guessing he's around 5 years old." So they go back and they research it. And the United Census of 1870, if you look, John Montgomery, 65 years of age, and go down to the highlighted one. Joseph, 5-year-old boy. So they confirmed what we had picked up at the property. And they were just floored. They handed us the reins, and the house is ours whenever we want. So
Super cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
yeah. So we have been controlling it since April of 2021. So next month we will have been controlling it there for 3 years. We haven't got as many people in as we'd like to, but it's in a very remote place. It is very original. There's some drywall and they put electricity in it, but that's it.
Yeah,
There's no
nothing
plumbing.
around it.
There's no sink. There's no bathroom. You're very limited because the closest bathroom's 5-6 miles up the road, unless you don't mind using the forest. But we're at the base of the Aurora. You never know if the Squatch is going to come up and ask you if you need help holding it.
Hate it when that happens.
Hate it when that.
Oh my God. You know what they say, Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, big hands. Yeah.
Exactly right. Big responsibility.
I was thinking it may think it's a branch and try to break it off.
The knocking sound.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
that is Ash. The
That's
property
Ash,
is haunted
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
It was our slippery slope of immaturity. Let's move on.
Yes.
It should. Yes. And that's
So-
where everybody goes.
Joseph is one of the spirits there. Mrs. Montgomery is very
Present.
present.
She
And
beast.
we've got her on EVPs. We caught her on Staticom. I was going to say something like that, Lourdes.
Yeah, these are our people. They descend into the immaturity ranks when we do. 2 for
Yeah.
1 ghosts and cryptids. Absolutely. She
Well, here's the best part. We were there one day. I think we were prepping for PPIT to come in.
Probably.
Melissa knows.
And it's not very well sealed. So we get the Asian beetles inside the house. It's on its original foundation. It's got its original floors, and sometimes there's gaps. There's a couple places in the house. There's a couple places in the house where you can actually see the ground beneath the floor. So Audra goes in and we clean. And Audra at one point was upstairs, and I was spraying and doing some maintenance around the house, and Audra was cleaning, and she was explaining it to me. And I'll let you listen.
Well, that's the ceiling, getting cobwebs and stuff.
Yeah, don't touch them.
Don't touch the cobweb.
Touch the cobwebs. Well, it's significant. So even though the Montgomerys treated their servants like family, they were still considered servants. And a white lady coming into the house cleaning would not have been appropriate. That's what the servants do, leave them. So it's the relevance, the timing was there. That was caught on. We were we were in James Patterson's room, and the recorder was in the hallway. Somebody didn't like Audra cleaning.
Alice in Wonderland. Why should she?
I don't like to clean.
Then they knew that.
She lies.
I
She
just
cleans
kidding.
all the
OCD.
time.
Yeah.
So there was PPIT. I say them a lot. They have been to the Montgomery House at least 4
At
times.
least.
Ash has been there. Scott's been there. Everett's been there. You see
Zach's
these guys
been there,
coming in all the
Mike's been
time.
there. Carrie's been there.
Carrie's been there. Yep.
Heather's
Zach's
been
been there.
there.
Mike's been there.
They all been
Yep. So PPIT has gotten tons of evidence there, and I'm going to pull forward this picture here.
one of our favorites.
It's one of our favorites.
Yeah.
Yes.
How could you
So
forget
this-
that?
Yeah, this is set up currently as a dining room, but back when Mr. and Mrs. Montgomery was there, this would have been where they held the courtroom. This would have been where the courtroom was held. So it's a 4x4 setup. It's a square building, four rooms on the bottom floor, 4 rooms on the top floor, with a hallway down the center of the very common building back then. But not every house had these fireplaces in every room, so you could tell they had money. But if you look next to that corner cabinet, and I will show you this. This is
Yeah.
kind of looks like a Civil War soldier, maybe one of Mr. Montgomery's sons coming home.
Hey, Chris, I don't know if you know this or not, but how tall is the top of a fireplace mantle?
He
like
knows.
That one right there comes to my chin, so it's about 5 foot.
That's your chin.
Just below my chin. It goes about
Yeah.
my chest,
Yeah.
about my sternum. So that's probably about 5 foot. I'm
Okay.
6 foot even.
Okay, so that makes that guy about 5'7", 5'8". Okay.
Which would have been your average height in the 1800s.
And it rules me out.
Yeah, you see that chair right there next to this figure that they caught? That's about
That's
wrong.
me.
Right? Yeah,
That's right.
Now,
I'm in the cabinet in the back. You just can't.
right. The teapot on the table, that's Lourdes.
That's fair.
That's a capture that PPIT got during one of the investigations, which was very intriguing. And here's another capture, which is going to show you the same corner. So if you look to the left of that cabinet is where they caught that figure. There's nothing there that should have picked up or anything. And there was only one person in the room. It was Mike. Mike Bennett, Zach's father, took that picture. Nobody else was in the house when he took it. Now, this picture, PPIT also caught. And I'm going to pull it up on my screen, and I'm going to share it to you so I can show you the sphincter factor of this picture. So let me pull this out.
He said that, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
It's still echoing in my head.
Right?
Sorry, I said sphincter. There we go. So this is that same picture that I just showed you. But now, see the cabinet? This is where that apparition was caught.
Yeah, because there's the corner of the.
There's the corner of the fireplace that you saw in the picture with the apparition. This one is a different investigation. And WTF is that?
No clue.
It's so weird, man.
It is so weird. It looks like a little monkey peeking over the table, but nothing was there. There was only one investigator in the house when this picture was taken, and this is the picture that was taken immediately after. This is the same chair. Now, naturally, the sun went down a little bit, and there's a flash behind him trying to catch it again, but this was also captured on an investigation by PPIT.
Very
Creepy.
Cool. Yep.
I can tell you, I've been in this house by myself tons of times, and Chris is not afraid of much. But if I'm walking through that house by myself and this is peeking over the table, Chris is leaving.
What the heck?
Baby Bigfoot.
Morgan's asking so to brighten it. So I know
I'm
she's
trying.
asking.
Yeah, Maureen had a good suggestion.
I was just repeating.
You can actually see the clothes.
You can see the shoulder right here. And the shape of the head and the white eyes right here. It's creepy.
Yeah. Yucky.
It is. It's creepy.
Over to the table. This is about Ron's height.
Not with
But
the
Ron
tinfoil
wasn't
helmet.
here for this investigation. See, I'm already getting the eye roll.
Get him, Audra.
I gotcha.
So there you go.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's just.
It's way weird.
It's just
Yeah, man.
does not belong.
No.
No.
Nothing here is.
Yeah.
Oops.
So it's just so weird.
It is very weird. But that is that corner right there. See him peeking right here? Gives you an idea how tall he is. That's an average size chair. That's an average size table. And he's peeking up over it right there.
Could have been kneeling down.
I was gonna say
He
that,
looks
but-
hunched over. He looks like he's trying to hide behind the thing.
Yeah, like he's
Yeah.
hiding behind the table so nobody sees him when they come through.
Yes, Maureen's right. There is a red tint.
Yeah, like in the nose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the face got a red
Yeah.
tint to it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's nothing in that room that color, and there's nothing in that room that color.
Yeah.
That is definitely. And I'm telling you, the guy, anybody that was on that investigation was not small enough to crouch behind that table, or young enough. Sorry, guys. We're all watching. All right.
Yeah.
Hunchback from Notre Dame.
That's what it kind of reminds me of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gargoyle, hunchback.
That's creepy. Thanks, Maureen.
Planet of the Apes.
Hey, Chris, I know you just said you're in that house alone by yourself all the time. I think it's a gargoyle. Exactly.
The Conjuring
Right.
Demon.
Oh, thanks.
Even
Gang.
better.
It's such a-
Yeah.
yeah.
Is it Conjuring Demon?
That's, thank you. All right. So the next clip we got was now these are from all 6 of EVPE at our very first investigation was at the Montgomery House. all
Yeah, it
together.
was.
Not our very first investigation, but all together as a team.
Mhm.
Tony and Cherie, of course, and Audra and I have been together hundreds of times. Ron and Lourdes and I and Audra have been together. Tony and Cherie and Ron and Lourdes prior to this had been together, but not all 6 of us at the same time.
Right. This was a
It was
first
Yep.
and
Especially
a great weekend, by the
It
way.
was.
Yeah.
More than the weekend was
Mhm.
fantastic. Just
Was.
great.
Yeah, it was. It was a great time.
My neighbors didn't like it, but
Oh,
Yeah.
well.
Too bad.
Yeah.
Damn party porches get you every time.
We were out there till like 2, 3, 4 in the morning a couple of those nights.
4 and
5
5.
in the morning.
Yeah.
one morning was 4:30, the next morning was 5.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that was us.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was May. It was mid-70s. It was nice.
it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was nice.
Was.
And that was September, right? Month of September.
No, it was like May.
It was in May.
It was in May. Yeah.
May. It
Oh, okay.
was like May 16th.
Yep.
All right, so now we're starting to get into that investigation, and this next clip is a Staticon clip titled New Jersey. Yeah, that is why we closed the Montgomery House. There's no insulation in the damn house.
Country reference.
Yeah. You guys got to understand, once you guys come out and investigate this property is, it's the property's haunted, the building's haunted. We turned Staticom on and Disneyland showed up. So this one's New Jersey. Tony, is that yours, or Ron, is that yours?
It's our clip, but it's them speaking. It's Ron asking where they from. So
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's good. You had that.
Here we go.
James, when you came through to us at our house, what state do we live in? Jersey.
It was right over here.
Thank you.
And we heard it.
oh, yeah, that's super clear.
So, Ron, do you want to run through the James Patterson real quick, so people that are watching that didn't watch the last show about Montgomery investigation?
Yeah, I'll give you the condensed Evelyn Wood speed reading version of the James Patterson story.
Oh, we've got
You get the roll too. See, I know.
Yep.
Condensed version.
Yeah. So in the nutshell, it's nutshelly. I can nutshell here. I used it 3 times in a row. Did you see that? Okay. We were getting this James in direct radio, voice, Staticom sessions at home, different places. We finally started asking James who, and we got something that sounded like Patterson or Peterson. We asked to clarify. I said Patterson, because we decided that's what it sounded like, and it pretty much was. And then for like a couple of weeks, James Patterson, no, not the author, but we're getting there. And we kept getting it everywhere we went with the Shanley. We would do recordings here, and it kept coming through. We'd start recording, go, all right, hey, whoever's with us, come through tonight. James. And we look at each other. All right, James, we need a last name so we know who it is. Patterson. We'd be like, son of a. All right. So we get down there, and just out of curiosity, we asked Chris and Audra if there was any name that was associated with the Montgomery House that they knew of that was that name, and they did not ring a bell. We're like, all right, we're interested to see. We're asking that because it seems like whoever this is has been following us, or we're getting the name everywhere. Clearly, let's see if it happens here, because now we're far from home. And so we go to the house, we drop off our equipment, we're going to this really cool place for dinner, and then we're coming back to start the investigation. During the pre-dinner walkthrough, we get up to the second floor to what was once one of the bedrooms, right?
Yeah. It is
and
now a memorial.
Audra looks at the wall and she goes, and then she caught it first. On the wall was a placard with a picture of a Navy pilot who died in a plane crash, but not during service. It was afterwards. And his name was James Patterson.
Right there on the wall.
And we were just like, what? So stunned. Do you want me to tell you what happened after that?
Yeah.
I don't know if you're showing it or not, but
I don't have that clip, unfortunately. I have it. I just didn't bring it up.
Well, then I'll set it up and I'll let Tony finish it because I know he likes to, and it's kind of funny. So I turned on Staticom while everybody's downstairs getting their stuff together just to make sure it kind of sounds okay. And it's a couple of seconds, and I hear James. And I went, James Patterson. I went, what did I say? I went, no
way, no fucking way. I mean, we heard that like 20 times. Once on
the stairs.
Each step he walked down to no way. I'm not doing this. No way. I didn't just hear that. No way.
No fucking way. No way. No way. No way.
First thing that came through.
Yeah. Well, then we find out that, you know, the Montgomery House is definitely part of the historical society of the whole county of Montgomery, right? Well, James trained to be a Navy pilot or an Air Force pilot in World War II. The minute he finished his training, the war ended and they sent him home. So when he got home, he got an old Navy plane, supply plane, and he was the first pilot in the county. And he would fly supplies all over the county for people. And he gave people their very first plane ride in the county that they'd ever had. When his plane crashed somewhere near New London, North Carolina, and it killed him, the entire county showed up at his funeral. This guy was such a predominant member of the county. Thus, he's at the historical.
Yep.
It was wild. I mean, I can't explain the fact we were hearing that everywhere. I mean, everywhere.
And prior to you guys even getting into North Carolina, you were getting this a week or two before, because I remember you bringing it up to me. We keep getting this name, James Patterson, and it's like he had information that you were coming and was trying to give a message, which is pretty cool.
And you know, since then, after that, we didn't get it anymore.
Really?
Well, we got the story out there. He wanted to be known as a veteran, and he was.
Do you have that picture, the frame?
I do somewhere. Yeah. I'll try and dig it up before the end of the show. All right. So the next clip. Audra loves to go around by herself while people are setting up. And Audra always takes her she takes her video. She uses her phone to collect video. She is the EMF queen. She loves it. And she'll go there and she gets tons of responses and communication with the EMF, and she'll show you on the video that she's moving the phone in and out so they know it's not the phone unless you're on the USS North Carolina. That's a whole other story. This was that night on that investigation. She was walking around. The rest of us were downstairs. She was upstairs and she was talking. And I'll go ahead and play it.
Can you tell me your name? My name is Audra.
Very clear.
Yep.
Very clear.
StreamYard tends to...
No Wi-Fi now.
No Wi-Fi. There is no Wi-Fi in this house.
Yeah.
There's no one.
Lucky you have a light that works.
So that was upstairs.
Yeah, it was upstairs.
So
Yeah.
Well, that would be unique.
Well, there is a continuation to that story, Chris.
Yes.
Maybe at the end of the show you can tell them. So you'll have to stay tuned. And Jenny, you'll like this if you haven't already heard it.
Yes.
Even more bizarre than what we've already talked about with that.
It was so bizarre. I kind of went, okay, fuck that. I'm done. Fuck that. I'm done. It was the Ron's fuck this. No way. No fucking way.
Yeah.
Same kind of moment.
And y'all, I'm sensitive, so I don't get to that point. That one got me, and I'll tell the story at the end.
Yeah, end of the show. They have to wait.
Yep. So this next one is Montgomery EV3.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I sent, and I think I know which one it is. But when I first started cranking out, because there was so much shit to go through, we got so much stuff at that thing. I just started naming them Entity Voices 1, Entity Voices 2, Entity Voices 3, never realizing that there's schmucks out there who do a show like us who I would need to have those answers for.
Yeah.
So that's how I named them.
I've done that before.
If you haven't experienced Datacom in person and you have any sensitive abilities whatsoever, you've got to experience it. So the Montgomery House, we're pretty familiar because we've been running it now for 3 years. We're pretty familiar with the common at-home spirits that are in the house that we communicate with quite often. We know where they're at. We can tell people that come to investigate, these are the hot spots. This is where this is where we've caught EVPs before. The minute these guys turned on Staticom, I get highly sensitive around electrical equipment. So in some of the clips, you see me standing way in the back, and I do that on purpose. So I'm away from the energy so I can pick up things going on, because the energy of the equipment will throw me off. And when they turned on Staticom, it literally felt like everybody gets in free day at Disneyland. There was more energy in that building than I had ever experienced in that building in the 2.5 years that we've been running it when you guys were there.
Yeah.
Here is
every spirit within any kind of ethereal mile was like,
Right.
hey, you know that Rathman name we keep saying? He's here.
Yeah.
He's here.
It was so. That place lit up that night.
It did.
Well, you got to remember, y'all, you're in the South. Revolutionary War, Civil War. I'm not even going to get there, but
Tug of war.
Yeah.
Man of war.
Yeah.
Tug of war.
Tug of war.
That's Anthony Seminelli.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute, the Seekers Club. I'm like, isn't that Anthony?
You know what it fucking is.
What is Datacom?
It is not a box.
It's when you electrically wire 3 cannolis together
with no circuit breaker.
That's right.
Me.
No, sir. That's right. It's Staticanoli.
Some more. There you go. All right, so here's that clip.
Can somebody please, just to verify you can hear us, can somebody say Montgomery?
There it is. That was it. It was a cadence weird. It was like ring.
Are your friends crazy?
That's good. That's good. That makes me laugh every time.
Lying. The spirits is not lying.
You know what though? That voice sounds. Did you capture that on a recorder, right, or video recorder, or audio recorder?
Yeah, and Maureen's not wrong. Every single one.
Yeah. It was on a digital recorder. Yeah,
that was on the Tascam.
That voice sounds different than Staticom.
That's what I told him just now.
Absolutely does not sound. Can you?
I wonder if that was an EVP on top.
Yeah, maybe
what
it
I'm
was just
thinking.
somebody's voice.
And super clear. I mean, that would blow Class A away. But that, I don't know. That's
right. Because it's all consistent, and then that voice. I'm like, well, maybe it was disembodying. I don't know.
It's difficult to tell. The argument is it doesn't sound like Staticom at that time. Staticom, it doesn't.
Correct. Right. Correct.
It's got a lot of vocal saturation and tonality to it. So, like Tony just said, which is what made me think of it, better than Class A EVP and how pure and clear and full that sound is. So you could say maybe it was an EVP separate because it's a little bit different than Staticom at that time, but that's a lot of, I think, modulation to the sound, which would make me think that it was an anomaly, but it came through. I can't, if I had to pick what would be more full and saturated as far as the depth of sound for that, it's out of sorts for an EVP, and it's out of sorts for a Staticom at that time.
Right,
What it
but-
sounded like.
But when we were using direct radio voice, remember that voice that we got? Here's a hint.
Yeah.
It was not. It wasn't the same accent, but it had that same
Fullness to it.
fullness to it that we thought it sounded like it was only me and him, but it sounded like there was another man in the room. So I don't know. I'm not
It's
sure.
possible it did come directly through Staticom, like what we thought, but it just. I mean, I've heard that clip before, but it didn't jump out to me like it did just now. And I'm like, wait a minute. That sounds different.
It'd be interesting if somebody had another recording that we could. I'm sure we do. We'd have
That
to
would have
find
been
it.
great. Yeah.
Somebody had to be able to be recording, even if I was recording on my phone and my recorder, and then Chris. If it's not on every recording at that moment, then there's your answer. Then it's probably an electronic voice phenomena.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, there was one of my recorders directly below us in the courtroom. I had 4 recorders going that night, and one of them was 3 feet away, and I didn't get it.
Well, if we're certain about that, then that makes it that it can't be a modulated sound that came through the speaker. The other thing that we say this every time we have guests on the show, and we probably need to remember this for ours right now because it just hit me. Nobody reacted to that voice.
No.
And I can tell you right now, after the first, we did 2 episodes of all the evidence, and we didn't even cover all the evidence that we captured, but we had 2 episodes of the Montgomery House after we did the investigation. And after you played that clip, I went back and checked that recording at the exact same time, and I didn't catch it.
Okay.
And we're not familiar with it at the house either. So
No.
it's not like we don't know from.
Chris, if you want to, because Maureen has to play it back again, you can cut through. Like I make the videos with the openings that have so they're standalone, presentable on YouTube. But for the purposes of this, if you want to cut through the little musical intro, it's if you can.
Well, I can't because it's in StreamYard. So here we go. We'll play it again. It's only 55 seconds. I'll cut it short at the end.
My friends are crazy.
Your friends are crazy. All right, here we go.
Can somebody please, just to verify you can hear us, can somebody say Montgomery?
There it is. That was it. It was a cadence weird. It was like Montgomery.
Your
Okay,
friend?
I have one question.
Yeah.
We might have an answer.
How clear of an EVP do you have of Mrs. Montgomery? Because that's what it sounds like to me.
Ooh. I didn't dig one up of her.
Yeah.
But we've got 2 or 3, but that doesn't sound like her.
Yeah,
No.
and I didn't think it sounded synthesized as much either. Too, we've gotten a lot of those voices that have that tinny, like synthesized sound. Didn't sound like that. She thinks, and if you didn't capture it on your recorder, and I can check my recording on my phone because I think I ran the tape recorder app also. She thinks it's direct voice. When we were doing direct radio voice in the very beginning, it says you get EVPs from the audio support, and then you may get some direct voice phenomenon, which is like a disembodied voice that benefits from the white noise, and then the voices will come out of the radio. And it's exactly how it unfolded when we started. But there was one when she asked for a hint about something, whatever, and then I said, yeah, that would be kind of cool, or whatever I said. I just finished talking. It was just the 2 of us. And then a voice goes, here's a hint. And it was like that. It was
reminds me of that.
full bodied, but different accents or whatever. But
yeah.
So
The only reason. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
Ash made the point that I was going to bring up. The one, there's 2 leave the house. One sounds like a male. The other one sounds like angry Mrs. Montgomery. So, and then it's a completely different voice from the "Are your friends crazy?"
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're making fun, but it does sound like like those old, hey, listen, get out of here or you'll get yours. See?
Yeah.
It does sound like that.
Is that?
Yeah.
Don't
Well,
make
the only reason I don't think it was disembodied voice is because none of us heard it. And
Yeah.
disembodied voice you can hear with your own ears.
Well, and my recorder would have picked it up.
Well,
Correct.
but when we heard here's a hint, we didn't hear that without. We didn't hear that without.
Yeah, no, that's true. So there's
I mean,
the variable, and that's true.
Yeah.
The variable, and then what Tony said absolutely
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
But if we were otherwise taken by what was going on, or we were still hearing some of the blips in between, we could have missed it. It could still have been disembodied. We didn't catch it. But typically, what Tony said is correct. You would hear that. You would hear it.
Yeah, and
Hard to say.
Ash brings up a good point. We have caught, and no offense, Ron, we have caught an angry Italian spirit in the house, and I'm pretty sure it's attached to one of the organs that they brought in from Chicago. That's in
Pianos. Just
Like a kidney.
yeah, that's why I said that
Oh,
pianos.
I know.
Why did you organ? Why did you apologize to Ron? Did this spirit have a short temper?
Ah.
I was leaning more towards the angry Italian, but
I
You
know.
guys are taking Giuseppe out of a job. You know that, right? You guys are taking Giuseppe's job away from him.
Yeah,
You're all
right.
going to get cease and desist orders.
yeah, he hasn't even shown up yet. We're filling in until he gets in here.
He's writing material. He has no idea his act is running away without him.
But
It does sound like an old time radio voice. It does.
It does. It
Listen,
does.
there's a
Doing your
little
best, get out of here. You'll get yours.
There's a little angry Italian guy attached to one of the piano / organs. So they store a lot of the stuff that they don't need to keep climatized in the Montgomery House for the Montgomery County Historical Society. And there's something that they brought in, and the angry Italian guy wasn't there until they brought that in. So yeah, I mean, we don't know what era he's from. Maybe he's an old gangster from Chicago.
Yeah.
Don't make me pull out my gat, you see.
So wait, okay, but would a direct voice be like a disembodied voice, or is that two separate?
It's pretty. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the distinction between the two.
Yeah,
A
me
direct
neither.
voice is a voice that is ambient, or it's environmental. It's not coming through the device, and it's not something you can't hear in the moment.
So maybe it's a direct.
Disembodied.
Well, see,
I don't know.
no, direct voice, if you can't hear it in the moment, then it's not the same as a disembodied, because a disembodied, you hear it.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe I used the wrong word. I think it's a direct voice. It sounded like the direct voice that we got. I don't know.
So
The best thing-
disembodied, we all probably should have heard it or could have heard it if it's a true disembodied, and it would have been picked up on all the recorders.
Yeah. All right.
Well, clearly nobody heard that, or they would have been laughing abound.
Correct. Which tells us nobody did hear it. So
Right.
again, I'm just going to decipher based on that, because yeah, we all would have been laughing like crazy. We're going, yeah, you're right.
So
Hear it. We didn't.
bring Rogers back up again. Roger, have you ever been to the South? He wouldn't have been hiding out here, because the people from the South down here would have kicked his ass all the way back to
Send him
Chicago.
back.
That's right. He'd have been hanging from the tree out back.
Yeah, take your foot off my trousers, eh?
That's right. I can just see it now. I'm hanging out here, you see. Yo, y'all don't belong down here now.
Florida's not the South. Florida is heaven's waiting room.
Yeah, so it's not
That's
that.
what they say.
I was gonna say no. No, it's not.
No, y'all, there's shit that happened in the South that didn't happen in Florida.
Yeah.
So this next one, you never saw Mississippi burning. Wow, I wasn't going that direction, bro.
Yeah,
This
that's
next one is near and dear to my heart because we love the Montgomery House. Audra is absolutely in love with it, and she's
I'd
like,
buy it and live in it.
"I'd
if I
buy it
could.
and live in it." And I'm like, "Oh hell no!" First of all, I'm
Me
not
and Mrs. G or
No.
Mrs. M are like this.
Mrs. G.
Montgomery.
Yeah, she's the G of the house. That's why.
Yeah,
Montgomery.
she's the original grandma. OG, yo.
OG.
She's been in the South for 4 years, and she's already dropping vowels and consonants. Me and Miss Montgomery.
Miss Montgomery. Like this.
But no, we would know.
Yeah.
It would cost $200,000 to climatize that house.
Yeah.
No.
I'm setting up a go.
Only to pee outside.
You'd be living alone. I'm not. No.
I wouldn't be alone.
Chris wouldn't be able to. No, you wouldn't be alone. That's the problem. Chris wouldn't be able to sleep.
A GoFundMe and a Go Flush Me because you need a bathroom.
That's right.
Roger.
So this next EVP is near and dear to my heart because we love the house. And the fact is that our parafamily comes down. These other 4 people that you see here besides Audra and I, we just absolutely adore. They are family to us. We would do anything for them. I'd take a bullet for all 4 of them. When the spirits that are in the house that we control love our friends, that makes me feel good. Take a listen to this clip.
That was
She felt so sweet.
Pronounced correctly too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
She
So-
my friend.
We were all outside.
That's right.
Those that need nicotine were out there getting nicotine. We're all outside talking. And Audra had been up earlier and had introduced Lourdes. And I'll play that one next. I should have played that one first, dumbass. But
Okay.
Audra had introduced Lourdes and Sarah, who is a very significant spirit there. And Tony actually saw for the first time ever. He saw an apparition. This next clip is when Audra introduced Lourdes, which led to her still looking for her. So listen to this.
Love the way she says my name.
Yeah,
I
that
really do. I do.
I like that one better than the last one. That one's really clear.
It's really clear.
Mhm.
It is.
So Audra introduced her. She says, "Hi, Lourdes." And then we all go outside, and then Sarah's looking for Lourdes. So
Oh.
when the spirits love our fam, we love our spirits.
Oh. We love your spirits too.
Yeah.
So this next one cracks me up. They must be overachievers. Us? Here we go.
Yup. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
That was good too.
Yeah.
Well, if y'all haven't been watching those 4 with Staticom, that is the definition of they must be overachievers right there.
Yeah.
And who was it that had the story behind the death trips too? Was it you, Chris, or Tony knew what it was or looked it up?
Well, Chris on the show where we were talking about that, it was I can't remember where the term I had learned of the term prior, and I was thinking about it while we were in there. And then Chris looked it up on the show we were talking about it. But the fact that no one said it, and I can't remember what the definition was. It was a trip back to Earth to check on something, or I don't remember.
Yeah.
But the fact that they said they were aware or they knew of death trips, the chances of that coinciding is 1,000,000,001.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in a quick version of it, a death trip is when a spirit travels back to Earth to visit the loved ones that they so want to be or go where they want to go.
Right.
It's a common theory that Audra and I have that we all have free will and can go wherever the hell we want at any given time. The thought of Peter locks us behind the golden gates is my God wouldn't imprison me. So I believe we're free to come and go as we want.
Yeah.
And that's what spiritualism counts as a death trip, is when somebody decides to descend down from heaven to visit where they want to visit or who they want to visit, is basically a death trip.
Well, just like I said, just because that was the term I was reading about prior and thinking about that night. And then for them to say that, I mean, prior to that, I hadn't even heard that word or that for death.
We were actually discussing it on the porch before the investigation.
We absolutely were. Yes. Yeah.
Kind of weird we got that acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, they are listening everywhere we
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Good stuff.
go. It is flipping hot in here.
Oh my gosh, here too.
Must be you, baby.
It's me. It's all-
I got the same problem. If
We're
my
cool.
camera shuts off and goes dark for a minute,
We're
pay
cool.
no attention.
We're cool.
We're cool.
Yes.
Hey, all mine's this hot with one hand.
Right.
I still have two. It just doesn't work right yet.
The grip's not there yet.
Wow.
What? You're the one with the dirty mind. That's not what I meant.
Say that. That's not what I meant.
She acts like an angel. Anyway, EVPI Montgomery, let it begin. So let's take a look. Here we go.
On one of them, but I don't know.
Is Lucy around?
Information.
We're back.
Why are they so slimy, those ghosts? Sorry.
Ooh,
They look slimy.
like a damn ghost.
That's cool. I know that the takeaway is usually the fact that they said Staticom, which is cool. But to me, we didn't hear what came before that last one. When it goes, let it begin, they're back. And then she goes, all right, we're back, just to announce we were back in the house. They had already said it.
Mhm.
Right.
That's telling. To me,
Yeah.
that's
I agree. And the phrase about there is one demon with you. I mean, Cherie only screamed once when we were doing EVP. I thought that was a little uncalled for.
oh, look at Sheree. Your husband's crazy.
Crazy.
Okay, maybe it was 2 or 3, but you know, the point's still there.
What's your point?
I don't know.
Oh, he made his point. You just weren't. Well,
I'm not listening.
Probably for the better.
Perhaps it's probably my own demon. If that message was for me, I would imagine it's my own demons, my own bullshit. That's the way I take that. If it was meant for me.
Or you guys got to also remember we're in the Bible Belt. We're in the South, and this was the 1800s. So the demon definition today compared to the demon definition back then would have been way more intense, and it could have been something a derogatory term they were using towards somebody that they didn't like in the house. I mean, it could have been anything. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean at the Montgomery House or at any time? I mean, in the Montgomery House, yeah, we felt, all of us, we felt the energy. It was strong in there. Yeah.
It wasn't demon strong. I can tell you that.
No.
And I can tell you we've been around Lourdes plenty of times and there's no demons connected to her.
Only when I'm hungry. And they haven't seen it yet, actually.
No.
Of course, one sees more than we do, but okay, so this next one, we were actually doing a Staticom session upstairs. They meant Ron.
That's right.
It's what he gets for peeking over tables.
With the red eyes.
This next one, we were doing we were doing the Staticom session upstairs, and this was a male scream that was caught during the live. None of us heard it. None of us reacted to it, but it was caught on my recorder downstairs. So here we go.
Yeah, for the record, I think that Joseph makes a lot of eating, but also invalidate the conservative
Yeah,
Do you hear it?
that's odd.
I don't know if he was laughing at what Ron and I were saying, or if he was. So if you guys didn't catch it, Ron said we were talking about the Historical Society, and Ron said something to the Hysterical Society, and then I said something about the Hilarious Society, and that's when the scream came in. So either he was laughing at what we were saying, or he was just deciding to scream for no reason.
Who do you think that is, Chris and Audra? You think it's the Italian man, or you don't know?
Not
Like,
sure.
no idea?
I think it's the little guy bending behind the table.
Well,
For everything.
it's hard to say. You figured this house is almost 200 years old.
Yeah.
And it was the Montgomerys had it from 1830 to early 1880s is the last Montgomery record of them being in it. Early 1880s sometime. And then somebody actually lived in the flipping house. I don't know how, because there's no flipping bathrooms. There's no running water. Somebody lived in the house in the 70s. In the 1970s. And then it was abandoned for quite a few years. I'm sure there's history in this house that
we don't know about.
It's
no
not
record
recorded.
of it.
Yeah, there's no record of it.
That would be a Cherie VP.
Yeah.
It would have been a little bit more high pitched with an accent.
Yeah.
And the room would have went silent.
You don't mess with that little demon.
Yes.
When we do our boober clips, I'm going to pull up mine of when Lourdes, Tony, and I were in one room, and Audra and Cherie were in the opposite room on the second floor, and we're trying to do an EVP session, and Cherie's trying to do an EVP session with Audra, and Cherie goes, shh, and I went, what is she shushing? And she goes, we're trying to do an EVP session, and you hear in the recording me going, what do you think we're trying to do over here?
We'll still have to see how many clips because we have it from Selma Mansion and the aforementioned tour. How many clips we have of Cherie telling everybody to be quiet?
Shut up!
Yeah, shut
No,
up.
the best part about that was she told us and then told us to go tell everybody else. And what she heard was you and I telling everybody else, we got to keep it down. They're doing an EVP session up there. We don't want to contaminate their audio. We're doing EVP.
Yeah.
You guys got in trouble for trying to warn everybody else.
Yeah, we didn't do it fast enough.
Well, quiet enough.
It's our fault.
I know. That's
Whoever
good.
thought the meanest thing on an investigation would be the 4'2" Asian woman?
Oh,
She's
boy.
6'4" with authority. That's why.
Yeah.
Tell him, Cherie.
She may be 4'2", but she yells 10'2".
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Todd. Yes, Todd.
Right. So the
Yeah.
next one, you guys have shown on some of your Staticom shows. This one's a good one. So here we go.
What's your favorite part of this house? What room?
That's so good.
Yeah. Tony can discuss that one. Tony knows that one. He does it all the time.
That's very awesome.
Yeah, I love that one just because of the clarity. That was still Staticom 1.0, but that is crystal clear. Again, full vocal tone. You can hear what kind of sounds like maybe not an accent, but a territorial dialogue sort of twang to it. But just and to me, that one's so incredible because Lourdes literally asked, what's your favorite part of the house? Like we were expecting a room, but the answer we got makes perfect sense. Like Chris said, this was on like 5,000 acres. There was no one around. Cops would have taken 3/4 of a day to ride out there to even get to it. So to get that answer, which was intelligent and from a timing and relevant standpoint was perfectly suited to the question Lourdes asked. That is amazing to me.
Well, and there was another significance to that I know that I thought of during the last Staticom show that you guys were on and showed this clip. I never thought of until that show when I was watching you guys is you got to remember when Dr. Montgomery moved to Concord to be near his son, he let the servants run the plantation as if they owned it. They were considered they were still servants. Don't get me wrong. This was the South, but they were the house was theirs. The property was theirs. So when he was gone, it's like they had their own property.
Mm-hmm.
So for them to say it's a safe place for our children to play, back then in the South, servants wouldn't have been safe in town. So being out so far away from where the law was, and now their children can play and it's safe for them to play, it makes a lot more sense to me now. And that's during your last Staticom show.
That is a great response, Chris, and makes perfect sense for that era. So, wow.
Yeah. And also eye opener for the relevance part of the timing and relevance.
Yeah.
Because what she asked, it answered, but there's more than one. Just like the word no, K-N-O-W or N-O sounds the same, right? But it's two different words. The context was different. She asked a specific, like Tony explained, what part of the house, and they gave a characteristic.
Completely different answer.
Which still answers the question, but the context is different. So that's
but that makes a lot of sense because they wouldn't want cops there if they are right. They wouldn't have been safe with cops. So that makes a lot of sense, Chris. Yeah.
And if they'd have been closer to town, even if Dr. Montgomery wasn't there, their children wouldn't have been able to play safely because of what else was going on in town. Because there would have been other people that you guys know where I'm going with this without
events.
Other events of the beliefs back then. How's that?
Yeah. Which should stay back then.
Yeah. Thank God it stayed back then. Let's just go with that. All right, so this next one is Montgomery EVI or EV1. EV1.
EV1, of course. That's the one that comes after EV0 and before EV2. So let's roll it. Tony's like, he doesn't know what the hell it is. I don't.
I did ones like that too. I just numbered them and I have no idea what's on them.
I had to watch them before I sent them in.
And you think the guy that produces the show, when he's putting the clips together and throwing them on here, would have put them in order of number, especially my own, but apparently I wasn't paying attention. So now I forgot where I was. Oh, here it is. All right, here we go.
I heard James in New York City and then James something else. He heard us.
What happened to James?
You want to talk about relevance? Holy shit.
Yeah. It's amazing what we captured there. Just, I mean, when we're watching these all together, I know we played them at different times on different episodes, but to watch them all together under the Montgomery House, I forgot half of these existed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing the amount of information we received in a single night.
Yeah, it is a lot of information. Yeah, she just asked what happened to James, and she meant Patterson, and that was his undoing. That was what happened.
And he was in the Air Force, but the plane he died in was a naval plane.
Isn't that crazy, man?
Which he purchased after.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So I want to point something out with Staticom. I talked to you guys earlier about if you're sensitive at all or have any mediumship capabilities and you're around Staticom. I want to show you something really quick. I'm just going to pop in the clip. I'm going to pop out. Now, if you look at the back of the room where we're doing Staticom, we're on the second floor of the Montgomery House, which we also showed in the clip we just showed. And most of the time during Staticom, I was standing against that white railing in the back.
Yeah.
Energy was so intense when Staticom started. You notice in that clip, I'm not standing there. And the reason why is the energy got so intense, I had to leave the house.
I remember that. I remember you going down the stairs.
I literally had to go outside and I had to ground and I had to clear because Staticom brought in so much energy into the Montgomery House. Hey, Jason. That I literally had to leave the room. So I just wanted to point that out because I touched base on how much energy Staticom brought into the Montgomery House when we started it. I wanted to point that out and show everybody. So.
Yes.
All right. The next one is you're in his house.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what that one is, but I know it's good.
It's been a year. Come on, Tony.
It's EV12.
EV12 should have been EV20. No, I'm just kidding. Here we go.
Did James Patterson come to North and I for weeks before tonight? Did he? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in.
Yeah. I asked him.
James never lived there.
Yeah.
He never lived there, you said, right?
No. He lived in the county. He didn't live in the Montgomery House that I'm aware of.
Well, that's true.
Maybe because of the commemorative presence. I don't know.
But you know what's funny about that though is every investigation that's been done prior to us doing that investigation as a team, everybody called that room at the top of the stairs to the right the creepy man room.
Yeah.
Because we always sensed a man in the room. It was a very strong presence. Everybody got creeped out by it until we identified that was James's room. Now when people go in there, that's James's room. It's not as creepy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe it is his house now. Maybe he's taking it over. Maybe he's other than Mrs. Montgomery because nobody's taken over that.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know the context. We can hear the words that were said because they're clear.
Oh, yeah.
But the context behind him and the meaning behind him, we don't know. Could they be speaking in terms of his spirit being in there? The fact that he was talking to Ron and Lourdes weeks before, knew they were heading this direction and was there to communicate? I don't know. But we know what the words are. But is the literal meaning of them that he owned that house? My guess under this circumstance would be no.
Patterson Montgomery.
And perhaps Miss Montgomery, she lets him hang out there because of the status that he had with the community. Right. All right, you're a good dude.
I mean, there could be all sorts of explanations that we're not aware of.
Well, that makes sense, Lourdes, because his ties to the county were just as tight as hers. I mean, literally, she never left a 5-mile radius her entire life. I mean, God, I would be banging my head against the wall. 5-mile radius had never. I mean, think about growing up in a 5-mile radius from the time you were born until the time you died and never leaving and experiencing anything else in life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk about this is my home, motherfucker? Yes, it is. Right? And James was the same way. He never left Montgomery County except when he went to war. And then the minute he got sent home, he went straight back to Montgomery County. So they had something very in common with each other. And he was a significant part of that county his whole life.
Yeah, community. Yeah.
All right. EVPI Montgomery, she's watching.
All right.
We'll play it. Y'all, it's been a year. Here we go.
You guys wanna
wrap it up?
We're gonna shut down in a couple minutes, so anything you want to tell us or ask us, go ahead.
I'm watching you. Yeah. First, you gotta go to church. I thought something went on.
Wow. I don't think I've ever heard, except for this location, such a constant reference between angels, archangels, and demons. So I don't know if that's, like you said, because of the way things were described, the time frame under which it happened, the fact that it was and still is in what's referred to as the Bible Belt, but I don't think I've ever, and I mean, I know it's probably in 3 or 4 clips that we have. I just heard it at least 2 or 3 in the ones you played tonight. And I think I heard one that Chris and Audra, something about an angel. I've never seen that show up so often.
So
Here.
the Archangels of Liberty is a Southern church and is thriving at expanding the community founded on the true teachings of the original Holy Bible. And we are in the Bible Belt.
Right. Interesting.
Because we didn't feel anything bad or anything like that.
No.
Nothing like that.
No, but there's a lot of reference to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we also don't get a lot of those references either. We don't.
No. And the Archangels of Liberty were founded prior to the Civil War. Timing, relevance.
Yeah.
Good God. I looked that up when you sent me that clip. I looked it up to see, like, Archangels of Liberty. That sounds familiar, and then I pulled it up, and that's what I got. So. Wow.
Yeah.
Great.
So the last clip we have is something Cherie says quite often.
F you.
And
Let's touch Tony.
Oh yeah.
hey.
Guess that wasn't it.
Guys, Tony and Cherie have been paranormal investigating since Cherie dragged Tony into it 15, 16 years ago now.
14.
Ron and Lourdes, you guys have been doing it.
Me, 2016,
12.
2012.
Okay. Audra and I have been doing it together for 12 years now. They're almost going on 13. I have been paranormal investigating. I've been sensitive my whole life, but I bought equipment and started doing it when I was 26. I'm almost 51 now. Tony, for the first time ever during a paranormal investigation at the Montgomery House, and guys, I'm promoting, this is my shameless plug.
That's right. The whole show is our shameless plug.
The whole show is our shameless plug, by the way, if you guys didn't notice yet. Well, and we want to raise money for the Historical Society, guys. What Audra and I do for the Montgomery House, the Montgomery County Historical Society, we don't collect a penny of it. Every effort we put towards the investigations of this goes to the Montgomery House. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. We charge $150 for a 3 to 4 hour investigation because of the lack of toiletry. But I also throw in an extra $50, and I always send them $200 after investigations. So not only do we charge $150 for the investigations, but I throw in another $50 so they can focus on the Montgomery House and keep it going for everybody that wants to come down and do an investigation with us. But the significance of this and the reason I keep pushing it is because this is the first time we've known Tony and Cherie for quite a while. We've done hundreds of investigations with them.
Yes.
Audra and I have seen things because of we're not mediums. We'll never claim to be, but we have abilities. We can see, we can hear, we can feel energy. Tony has never seen an apparition.
No.
Not like that.
His first apparition he ever saw was at the Montgomery House.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And right before this clip happened, I looked at Tony and went, "You have two males standing behind you."
Right.
Now, with that being said, let me play this clip.
Yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Can you stop talking and let spirits that are in this house answer our questions? They're trying. Okay, keep going, please, because I can hear it lesson. That was a yes. It sounded like.
That was insane. You know, and if you add $50 to the Montgomery investigation, I may be there. That may be possible.
And you will let you talk.
Yeah, my friends are great.
So whether it's Friday night date night with Sheree and Tony, or it's at the Montgomery House, the phrase "Let's touch Tony" comes out.
Yes.
You get an extra $50. You don't take it out of your own pocket, Chris.
Your friends are frisky.
Your friends are frisky and crazy.
Oh, and also I noticed that before with that video clip, it says also it's freezing. The very first part, yeah.
They're
It's
talking about
freezing.
January upstairs in the Montgomery House. Yes.
Yeah. Very clear.
So for everybody watching, again, it's in Mount Gilead, North Carolina. It's probably about 20 miles from Albemarle. Yes, there is a town called Albemarle.
Oh.
That was Everett, Scott.
Let's don't.
It is an 1830s plantation home. It still sits on the original foundation when they built it in 1830. Most of the house is original. The upstairs is the most original part. They did start trying to drywall some of it because they were going to try and use it as their museum, and I had to stop because they were really hey, I never got paid for that. $5 made him holler. It is a great location. It sits at the base of the Uwharries Mountain. There is definitely activity there. I mean, we got enough. The six of us, our first investigation together, got enough. We could have probably done 4 or 5 shows, but we got tired of reviewing and we got tired of recording evidence because everybody that does investigations knows how long that takes.
Yeah.
This has been a shameless plug by Audra and I tonight because we are open for investigations, and our goal is to get as much money as we can to that historical society that lost. I'm telling you guys, they lost millions to help support their cause of restoring the one of the oldest county in North Carolina.
Wow.
Literally, there's 2 guys. One of them's a retired school teacher. One of them's a 3rd-generation chicken farmer, which is a highly intelligent guy because he's written textbooks for MIT, but he's still a 3rd-generation chicken farmer, and they are supporting this out of their own pocket. So we donate to them. We give as much as we can when investigations come out. It is a hard location because there's not a lot near it. But if you can reach out to Audra and I, and if you guys have contacts with Tony and Sheree and Lourdes and Ron, if you want to reach out to them to get with us, it is for a phenomenal cause to support some really great people. These are people that just they live for the history of the county, and all they want to do is support.
See you, Todd and Carmela.
Oh God, we were just
Pick the date.
Loving you guys coming down. PPIT has been a strong a supporter of the Montgomery House.
Yep.
Ash is going to come down. He's with the sheriff's department up north in the Piedmont area. He's going to bring some of his law enforcement guys down to do an investigation. They've just been phenomenal, and we just want to support them and give them as much as we can. And everything that we do for the Montgomery House, we don't take anything for it all. I've repaired the stairs. I've repaired the siding. We've cleaned the house. We've sealed some stuff up. We've repaired some doors. We've put new locks on for them. We're not looking for a pat on the back, guys. We just want to support the history because.
Okay. Sorry.
Tid? Yeah, Tid.
Tid.
Carmela.
Tid. Raul and Anthony have single-handedly taken them down
Mm.
because Anthony called Carmel a chameleon.
That's funny.
Hidden chameleon.
I think my biggest message is, guys, we are in the paranormal community, and it's places like this that gives us places to do what we do and advance the research of the paranormal as much as we can. We can't erase the history of what we were. All we can do is correct it. Sure. We don't want to erase it. We want to learn from it. Erasing it erases the memory of the crap that happened prior to us that shouldn't have happened. We want to move forward and continue to keep that history alive so we can investigate and we can learn from it and move forward. So, anything you guys want to add? Sorry, I got my soapbox up.
Yeah, you did.
I was getting kicked over here.
Yeah.
Apparition on and get filled up by spirits. The Montgomery House is the place for you.
Filled up and see some shit. Come on down. Audra and I will be on the location with you guys during the whole investigation.
We
Because
are not doing the feeling.
I'm not doing the feeling up. Not at all.
Spirits will. Thank
you.
They'll do it for you. Don't worry.
If you want to catch a couple of apparitions, I'll eat some Taco Bell before I come out.
Yeah. That's a 30-minute investigation.
Todd, Carmela, and Raul, I will look at the schedule. Oh, fuck it. We're live. Let's do it now.
Oh, very nice, Melissa.
Thank you, Melissa. Sweet.
Oh,
so
very
sweet.
nice. Very nice.
April 13th and April 27th is open. Pow chicka bow wow. What is it? Brown chicken brown cow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, April 13th and April 27th is currently open. Nobody's locked in dates yet. So even that's not going to get you felt up.
Yeah.
But maybe you can go out in the woods and use the bathroom and Bigfoot will help you out.
That's right.
Yeah.
Happy ending from Sasquatch. There you go.
Yeah, just go out and back and take a sock squat.
Make sure bring baby wipes.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, I don't think anybody's used the woods for that yet. We're not going to say any names, so quit shaking your head.
I'm just
Don't make me roll my eyes. Somebody has, but I'm telling you right now, with the snakes that we have out in North Carolina, it's somebody that's native.
I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't do it.
No, yours don't rattle. Ours at least tell us they're there.
Mhm.
Yours don't.
Locked in the 13th. 13th locked in right now.
Done.
Furry fists.
Raul. The 13th is locked in.
Yeah.
Who's gonna pass?
It's the Uwaris. It's the snakes. The snakes are the least things you got to worry about.
Yeah, don't you worry.
Getting touched. An Italian with a little organ is always a good time. That's right. Those Italians have the hairy hands, so it's a little softer.
Yes, Jason. We
So
shall
tell
see
us who
you
Jason
soon.
Combs is,
Soon.
and then I will tell the James Patterson story.
Ron.
Yes, what?
Who's Jason?
Jason
Huh?
Holmes.
Oh. Jason is with I'm trying to remember the name of the group.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, because we worked with them before and we're gonna see them soon. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the group.
What's the name of your group?
Yeah,
Jason?
put it in there because
Sorry.
Jason, tell us what the name of your group is.
banjos.
It's right next to the PD River. So it can be.
Yeah.
No, it's a little further.
And
That's what it is. Thank you. Thank you.
I was like, yes. Pimp Paranormal.
That is hysterical.
That is good. Awesome.
That's right. It is one of the creative ones.
Yes,
That is.
very.
Pimp My Paranormal. I don't know why that popped up. Sorry, guys. Okay, so final story about James Patterson. So we got the James Patterson confirmation. Between Tony and I, we dug up the history of what significance he was in Montgomery County. Ron and Lourdes had been getting messages from him. We found him on the wall.
Weeks prior to coming here.
Weeks prior to coming here, they got his name. We found him on the wall on the walkthrough. Audra did, which tripped us all out. And then Ron freaked the fuck out when his name came through Staticom before we even started the fake. And guys, on the next show, I will promise you I'll pull that clip up so you can hear Ron freaking out, because I do have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to play it.
The most amazing part of it is I control operations for the western portion of North Carolina and the northern portion of South Carolina for a window and door replacement company. I've been doing this for 30 years. Part of our system is when a customer calls in, their name and their number pops up. In our computer system, we have a system called Hatch, and we have a system called 5.9, and it directly connects to our system that brings up the customer's history. About, 2 to 3 days after Tony and Cherie had left, Ron and Lourdes had left, we had done the investigation.
Yep.
We got a call from a number that was, we had installed it in 2012. So this was 2023. And the number popped up as James Patterson. And normally I have the area that I control. I have a coordinator that contacts the customer. I have an install manager that contacts the customer. I usually don't directly contact the customer unless there's a major screw up and I need to smooth things over with the customer. But I actually told my coordinator, you know what? I'll take this call and I'll call the customer. So the call had come in, it registered on the system, but there was no voicemail. The voicemail was completely blank. So I pulled up, I took the information from our system and I pulled up the customer's account, noticed that it had been installed in 2012. And I'm like, this is just too weird. We just had our experience with the James Patterson. We had discovered all the information about the history connected with Montgomery County. It is just weird that we've got a call coming into my work 3 or 4 days later afterwards with a James Patterson. But he didn't leave a voicemail. The voicemail was completely blank. It went on for about 10 seconds and then there was nothing. So I called Mr. Patterson and I said, hey, Mr. Patterson, my name is Chris Allgood. I am the operations manager for the region. I said, we noticed that we got a call from your phone number and I was wondering if you had an issue with your windows and doors that we could come out and resolve. He goes, I'm sorry. I never called you guys. My windows and doors are great. You guys did a fantastic job. There's no service needed. I never called you guys.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I said, okay, sir, thank you very much. And if you ever have any issues, go ahead and free to give us a call and we will make sure that we take care of you. And I hung up the phone and I sent everybody home for the day. I said, because this just freaked me the fuck out. Say we're done.
Well, maybe he dialed just so the name came up.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
100% absolutely true story, guys. That it was the weirdest thing. And then when I told my staff of how that was related and how it freaked me the fuck out, it freaked them the fuck out to the point, you know what? We think we're going to go home too. So the next day I went into the office. I placed selenite throughout the office. I did a blessing. I did some salt. I said, okay, James, you keep your ass in Montgomery County. You don't belong over here in Mecklenburg. So
very funny.
Yeah, man.
True story.
Yeah.
Fact. It was
crazy.
Weird. And I contacted everybody you see on this screen and went, what the fuck?
He sure did.
Well, he wanted to make sure that you knew, yes, that's me. That was me.
Yeah.
He wanted to make sure that we got his story out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, see, Jason had something similar. It's odd.
It's crazy, man. It's freaking
Weird.
crazy.
It is
On
weird
top
about the paranormal crosses into our normal lives, and what you've got to turn around and ask yourself is, what is paranormal? Is it paranormal, or is paranormal the normal and the rest of our life is para? So they're trying to
True that.
well, unless James is going to step the fuck up and pay the tab, we're not replacing the damn windows in the house.
Did NH?
Imagine, yeah. Imagine he said, listen, dude, we need some freaking windows up in here.
That's right. So for everybody watching that wants to come out and do an investigation at the Montgomery House, the windows that are in the house when you guys show up to do your investigation are the 1830 windows that were handmade.
Yeah.
Call is coming from inside the house. Where did Tony go?
He got freaked out. He's done.
That freaked Tony the fuck out. Yeah. So James wanted to make sure that we knew who the fuck he was.
Think about that. Just the bullet points. Right, Chris? Just the bullet points of that story. For a few weeks, James Patterson keeps coming through. Nobody knew. We show up. His name and a placard is on the wall. First thing that comes out when we turn the system on is James Patterson. He confirms the state of New Jersey that he came through before we got there. He confirms, he did come through. You're in his house, all that other stuff.
Navy plane crash.
The Navy plane crash, right? When she asked if he's there, and then you get that at your job. I mean, think of that. That's more coincidence.
Yeah, I don't think that's a coincidence either, because there's so many.
Right.
Yeah.
And for those of you out there that don't know Chris will tell you the honest to God truth, even if it makes me look like a complete douche. That's just the way I'm wired. I never tell a lie. That's just who I am.
And it's easier to say that in third person.
Yes.
I always find easy if Tony's never laughed.
I look like a douche into it. It just
it takes all the snazz out of it. You're Christoph Algod, not to be questioned.
That's right.
Said Ron.
Do you guys have any finishing statements?
Any closing argument?
Any closing argument? You want to do a bringer final word?
If you're looking for a great location, North Carolina, the Montgomery House, you should really check it out. Contact Chris and Audra. They'll get you in. You're not going to regret it.
Yeah, it's really good.
No, it's worth it.
I think Melissa Blackman said about seeing us do another 2.0. Okay, we would love to. We're already trying to figure out if it's there or however we all six get together again. But that was the best part of it. I mean, it could have been a haunted tool shed, and we would have been up till 5 a.m. laughing our asses off anyway.
Exactly.
We were just happy to be
nothing to do with us being up that late. No.
Yeah, but that was what was the coolest part. The fact that it delivered so good. If you want to make an argument for collective energy of the quality of people and intent and positivity, I mean, there was a lot of love and respect between the six of us. So excited to be in the same place together. So if that is at all a factor, then there's a foundation for how much stuff that came through.
Yeah, absolutely. And great point.
That's so true.
And we talk about para-unity. The best part about that whole weekend was not the fact that we did the Montgomery House and the amount of evidence that we collected. The fact that made that weekend was phenomenal was the six of us just being together. So
yeah, it was awesome.
Completely agree.
Never heard of it.
Forget about it.
There you go. How you doing?
Gotta get Anthony in there. Let him talk to the guy with the keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, we haven't seen Anthony since Gettysburg Bash last year. We're missing some Seminelli.
Yeah.
Maybe when we go to Pennsylvania this year, we should schedule again. Part 2 Montgomery.
That's summer.
Is that summer?
He might be in the Poconos. Not the Poconos. Pennsylvania.
Oh,
Pennsylvania is Poconos.
Poconos, it's eastern Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 2 hours. His Poconos house is about 2 hours from us, literally due west. Like the highway we're right next to, straight out, pretty much.
So as long as you guys don't plan for July, because we're in Florida in July and then we're at the Gettysburg Bash. The 6 of us can get together again this summer. We will do whatever it takes for the 6 of us to get together.
That would be super cool.
Yes.
That would be super cool. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
we
yep.
gotta do that.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
are
that
you guys going to go to Pennsylvania?
Well, we got a couple of different things on our list. One of them actually might be Gettysburg, but our timing is so screwed up right now with with everything going on.
Hey,
And
no. Let Christoph Allgood add something to you. We have booked a room at the Bash that has 2 queen beds because that's all that was left. And we're not going to use both. I will cover the cost of your hotel room if the Rathmans come to the Bash.
Wow. You know, we want to go anyway just because we've never been there.
Yeah.
The problem is that there is something that when's the Gettysburg Bash?
August, right?
19th,
No, it's in July.
It's in July.
Yeah,
It's
July,
before,
right?
before the other thing.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking about.
27th.
It's literally 2 weeks after some other reason we may be there. So hopefully we will be there.
Yeah, it's the 26th to the 28th is Gettysburg, the end of July.
Right.
All right, so we got to find out if working remotely for multiple weeks is okay. Then we just go and we just stay.
I can work remote.
Yeah,
I know you can. I meant me.
So we have booked a room for Friday and Saturday, leaving Sunday, with 2 queen beds, and that other queen bed is reserved for the Rathmans. If you guys come out, and we are in Florida the 13th through the 20th, and Gettysburg's Bash is the following weekend, so it's the 26th, 27th, something like that.
Okay.
We can talk.
Yeah, we will.
That other bed
We'll
is
have
yours.
your people talk to our people.
Yeah, we'll have your.
All right, sounds good. Sounds
Yeah,
good.
Gettysburg is
You're all crazy.
Well, that would be fun.
there.
Again, big event going on, and very popular one. Lots of great people there, and for the 6 of us to be able to be in the same location again, that may be the answer.
Everybody watching, how big will it be if EVPE, all 6, are at the Bash?
Oh, that'd be so
I
cool.
know, it's so
Oh, it'd be great. And to answer Melissa's question, they
Right away.
literally announced the date for the following year within 4 weeks of the current one.
Yes.
So
Even sooner than
maybe
that.
sooner, but yeah. So this year is 26th, 27th into the 28th of July. At the end of the month is this year's Bash. And then the thing that we're looking at that Tony's talking about as a possibility is around the week of the 16th, 17th of August, which is 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you're right.
Where's Pine Bush?
Pine Bush is in New York State. That's about an hour and a half from here.
I know, Chris, stop. I know what it sounded like. It almost sounded like you said,
Where's my bush?
What?
Well, for an average person, it's 3 feet down. For Cherie, it's about a foot and a half.
that's what it sounded like. But we knew what you said, but it sounded like
I
that.
said, where's Pine Bush?
Where is mine bush?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know.
Oh,
You got a problem there.
she went full
Tony,
Seminole
you
on
want
us.
to help us out with that one? Because our friends are crazy.
Remember that electric razor I bought, honey?
I don't know how to use electric razor.
I don't
It
know
was
where I
a foot
am.
down, but it's not there anymore.
Yeah, Pine Bush is in New York, honey. It's in New York.
That's
Everybody
the museum.
look. That is the first time I've seen Cherie blush.
That is the museum where the shadow figure went, where Staticom's gonna go.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Near the Shanley Hotel.
you guys have been to our house before.
Yeah.
If you go
Okay.
straight north from here, pretty much northwest, that's where Pine Bush is. And if you go west from here, that's where
Poconos.
Poconos are.
Pennsylvania.
Right. And then Gettysburg is southwest
Yeah.
from
Gotcha.
here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So So, guys, if you want to investigate the Montgomery House, make sure you reach out to any of the 6 of us, and they will make sure you connect you. Fuck, there's my one for the night. They will connect you with Audra and I to get you set up to come down to the Montgomery House. Guys, it's a fantastic location, and it supports a fantastic foundation with the Montgomery County Historical Society. And I guarantee you 100% you have my blood, my promise that every penny that you guys pay to investigate the location goes directly to them so they can support everything that they do to maintain the Montgomery House. Make sure you guys, just a heads up, we're going to do, we're not going to be here next week. We're going to take a break. We will be back the following week, March 25th. We have a great guest coming on, and we will have more evidence for you guys to watch. But most of all, make sure that you guys stick to the paranormal. Make sure that you guys build bonds like the bond that you see here between the 6 of us, because that is the most important part of continuing the research and continuing the paranormal community. This crap that you see out there of people arguing and stuff is just a bunch of bullshit. Everybody keep the love going and keep the paranormal community going. The way you guys have to do that is to stay haunted. All right, guys. We will see you in 2 weeks. You guys have a great night. Thank you guys for joining in. We'll see you then.
Good night.
Stay haunted, guys. I said that already. Did I not stay haunted? Did I just not stay haunted?
I thought you did, but I'm not sure.
No.
Somebody's been drinking and she's only got one hand.
And you know what? That's our guest for the 25th when you come back. Mondo and Jimmy Carney from 305 Paranormal in Florida will be with us March 25th.
Yep. Nice. Guys, come back on the 25th. You'll see Jim Carney, Mondo from the 305 Paranormal, and we will have a fantastic show. The only way that you guys can come back is for the 3rd time to stay haunted. All right, guys. Have a good night. See you.
Can you give me a name? What's your name?